Yes, tonight we have the Utopian Brand relaunch party for Destination Utopia. Destination Utopia is a holistic and luxury wellness company. We actually are your final stop for holistic and luxury wellness, and what does that mean? That means that we actually have 3 divisions to our company, which include Utopia Living. Utopia Living offers corporate coaching, corporate wellness, executive coaching, and lifestyle coaching, as well as retreats. And then we have our oldest division, which we are celebrating 12 years in the wellness industry today with Spa Utopia. And Spa Utopia is a luxury travel spa and or luxury mobile spa because we specialize in bringing the spa to your location. We provide professional therapeutic services, and we do that in a corporate environment. We partner with upscale hotels. We do spa parties, and we make them very fun and fabulous. We do provide aromatherapy, candles, essential oils, tea, and music, so we appeal to all 5 senses and make sure it's a very customized experience for our clients. And then thirdly, we have Utopian Body, and that's our organic aromatherapy line of all natural bath and body products, from sugar scrubs with raw sugar and honey to smell amazing, to aromatherapy mist, to body oils. So it's a way to have your utopia and bliss in a bottle. So Utopia Living is all about living a life that you love, living your most passionate life on purpose, mind, spirit, and body, and really living a lifestyle of intention, inspiration, and empowerment. Into a little Utopia Living. So again, does anybody remember what Utopia Living is all about? I gave some different adjectives. Yes. Yeah, you're good. She mentioned quite a few. Anybody have any others? All right. Life balance. Yeah, life balance is key. So we're gonna dive right in. So really, I just want to present some strategies for abundant living. So I just claimed that this year is gonna be all about abundance and elevation. So who does not want to go higher and get lifted to a higher place? I know I do. So when I think of that, I think about the acronym, or the word love, which I've created an acronym for love. And love first stands for L, loving God, yourself, and others. And so oftentimes, we're not living the most fulfilling life because we're not necessarily loving ourselves the way we need to be loving ourselves. Our self-care, looking at the company that we keep, looking at our habits and our basically day-to-day, life, and how we are doing things that either are enhancing our life or diminishing our life. So when I think about loving ourselves, God, and others, one of the things I believe in as a daily practice is the practice of gratitude. So I want everyone to just take a moment, and if you're not eating, maybe close your eyes for a minute and think about something that you're grateful for. And join me in taking a nice deep cleansing breath. And slowly exhale. And another cleansing breath in. And slowly exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I know that always takes me to a place of utopia. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, it only takes a couple seconds. About Clyde. Clyde is a take charge type of man. He's the author of best-selling book, What Had Happened Was, and seasoned television finance expert.
It's a party. But I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I was raised on a little street called 8 Mile Road, which Eminem made famous or infamous. But I grew up right around the street, down the street from the pimps and the prostitutes and the drug dealers, and that was it. I grew up in a single-parent household. We lived in an apartment. And my mother raised me. She did a great job raising me, but one of the things, we never talked about money. We never had those conversations when we talked about finances. You guys talk about wealth building when you were growing up? Raise your hand if you talked about wealth building, making money, and good. All right, we got 1, 2, 3. All right, that's what I'm talking about, because that's where we have to go. We haven't been there in the past, but that's where we have to go, and that's what I learned. When I was 7 years old, I got that entrepreneurial entrepreneurial bug. Before I even knew what an entrepreneur was, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I started selling candy in front of my apartment building when people came home from work. You know, they probably didn't need lemon heads, but who was gonna tell a little 7-year-old boy no? And so I figured that out, and it worked to my benefit. By the time I was 11, I had a paper route, and I started hiring other people to work my paper route in my community. And so I always knew there was something else I wanted to do. So I wanted to go to college to learn how to be an entrepreneur. So when you go to college, you want to learn how to be an entrepreneur, you major in business, right? They teach you how to be an entrepreneur. No, that wasn't the case. I did learn a lot, but they didn't teach me how to be an entrepreneur. It wasn't until my senior year where I had a class called Entrepreneurship and Enterprise with a brilliant man named Dr. Dennis Kimbrough that totally changed my life. He wrote Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice, and some other books. But Dr. Dennis Kimbrough showed me what was possible and showed me how to plan and how to make a plan work. And in college, you know, a lot of us get a little tripped up in college. You know, we're free and we're learning and we're growing. And I got in trouble in college because I had a gas card before I even had a car. It didn't really make a lot of sense, but I never had a problem getting a ride. I would swipe that card and I'd charge some gas. But that was me growing up and learning what it was all about. And you know, they had the credit card tables there, they were ready for you, right? They were waiting for you to come out there and get their goods and just fall prey. You know, you were the prey to what they were selling, what they had, their goods. And so I think about it like this, and the way it happened for me is I got into the mortgage business right out of college. And when I got into the mortgage business, I was still sort of not really understanding this, but I had to learn it really rapidly. By the time I was 24, I was probably making about $200,000 a year. And I was the guy that never went to talk to companies because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to do my own thing. And now I was thrust into this space where I'm in Florida, I'm doing loans, and everything's good, and I thought I was rich. I thought, this is it, I made it. This little black boy from Detroit, making this kind of money doing home loans. And I started to realize that everybody that was coming to my office, they would say the same thing. And what they would always begin to say is, well, you see, what had happened was, you heard it before, right? So I'm in the right place. You heard it. They would say, what had happened was, I co-signed for my cousin and he never paid the car note. Well, I went through a really nasty divorce and my credit got ruined. And I heard this over and over again. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna put this in a book. I'm gonna write a book and this is what it's gonna be about. So I went home, told my wife, hey, I'm gonna write a book. After she got off the floor from laughing so hard, she said, what is it gonna be about? What are you gonna write about? And I told her what I was gonna write about. And the next day I came home, she had already started writing the book. She had already started putting together the ideas, and we came up with this concept of what had happened was, it all happens in a town called reality. Somewhere between perfect bliss and rock bottom. Similar to the place where you and I live, right? You're familiar with that. The characters were too good to be true, just to get by, be Joneses and couldn't care less. And they were all trying to get a special deal, and that special deal was freedom, the ability to live out your dreams, to answer your questions or what you've been waiting for. So it showed what different characters would or wouldn't do to get something they considered to be special. And so the way I think about it, when I think about the times and the things that I had to go through to even get to this place, it reminds me, and I kind of tell the story like this, and I want you to help me out. When I point to you, I want you guys to say what had happened was, okay? I want you to say it though like you said it before.
What happened was.
All right, y'all done said it before. Y'all got stories. I want to hear your stories. All right, so when I point to you, I want you to say that, all right? Remember that. That's your role. That's what I want you to do. When I point to you, you say that, okay? All right? We good?
Yes.
So we were thrown into a system that we don't understand. Feeling like there's a foot on my neck holding me down that belongs to the man. But the man is Visa and American Express, and then I discover that's why I stress. I feel like I can't escape and that this is my fate. They gave me a water bottle and a t-shirt, and so I took the bait. I didn't even know the rate. Now I've got a card feeling hard because now I can charge. What do you ask? Well, stuff I think I need, which I should be using cash to buy, but instead I'm paying crazy fees. With the promise to pay later, but later comes quick, so my charges turn to collections and these constant calls are making me sick. See, I was given a weapon and never trained for its use. So it didn't take long for my use to turn to abuse. And now my credit score is dropping like flies and I really can't be surprised, and who really hears my cries? Or is it that I'm not crying out loud enough? I'm too busy trying to act tough and know it all like I have the answers, while this debt gets out of control, interest compounds and grows like cancer. See, I got myself in this bind because I can't pay my bills on time and I'm overextended, not sure if you can comprehend it, but if you breathe, they'll end it. And as soon as you don't pay, the credit repositories will report in the form of a 30 or 60 or 90 day late. Usually for me being irresponsible and choosing to wait, or forgetting to mail it off before the due date. See, I bit off more than I can chew, and now these hard times are spreading fast like the flu. It's hurting my profile, a snapshot of who we are, so now I'm known as the guy with the lates on the car. or a string of collections that follow me like LoJack because I borrowed more money and I really couldn't pay back. Even though scores range from 300 to 900, you could find me stuck at the lower end of that scale, living each day scared to check the mail. See, when you think about it, it's sad. When asked about my credit, I say it's okay when I know that it's bad. See, I spent the money as quick as it came. Now I gotta get the lights turned on and my mama and them name. So many bills to weed through, I feel like myself, I become past due. Later delinquent when my trips to the payday loan spot have become more and more frequent. See, God had a plan for my life and I know it wasn't this. To fall victim to the myth that ignorance is bliss. So know your status, check your score. Education is key to empowerment, power is key to prosperity, but we can't grow without clarity. So realize as stupid is as stupid does. And move past it now and tell your story like, well,
What happened?